So my last video did marginally better than my videos usually do, so like the fame-hungry asshole I am, I'm gonna double down and exploit Arty Game for more content. Thank you, Thaniel, you're making my career. If you haven't already watched the Bug Snacks is an Allegory for the Bible video, please do. Unless you're an actual Christian, please don't. I meant nothing by it, I'm sorry. But before we get started, only a small percentage of my subscribers wait, what? Only a small percentage of my viewers are actually subscribed to my channel. Who would have guessed? Oh my god, look! Look at that number right there that I definitely... I edited it in, it's there. All those people, they aren't subscribed to me. Why? And what's even worse? Most of the people who are men! This cannot stand. Women of YouTube, please. We can't let this happen. As we all know, men, terrible, awful. I would know, I am one. Subscribe to the channel. Alright, so with that out of the way, let's ask a pretty important question to this video. Who in fact is Thaniel Arty Game? Arty Game is an Irish-Canadian streamer who was born on April 13th, which is also known as Homestuck Day if you're a loser. Originally he was a mainly TF2-centric content creator, but sometime a couple of years ago he moved on to doing variety content, and it's pretty good. Boasting over 1 million followers on Twitch and 2 million on YouTube, he's doing pretty well. Throughout his plethora of multi-hour live streams, he's accumulated a couple recurring characters, mostly known from his Miitopia series, which he did on his channel a little while ago. It's pretty good. I'd recommend giving it a watch after you watch this and subscribe and like the video. Probably the best way to visualize these characters is to look at a poster he released a while ago titled "Everyone is Here." Characters included on the poster include I Want Die, Cupcake, Ross Bob, Virginia Virgin, Gilbert, Jefferson, Chat, Magical John, Dread, Khadgar, End Me, The Zax, Mr. Bede, Obama, and Von Karma, as well as a few others. I'll be covering most of those characters in this video, but I'll be skipping over things like Arty's representations in the games he plays, like his Animal Crossing villager. But before we get into any of the deep lore that's been laid out for us here, a huge thanks to everyone at the RT Game Wiki. I literally could not have done this video without you guys. There's so much useful info in there. Please show them some support. Alright, now, let's look at the most notorious character in this entire cinematic universe. I Want Die. First name I, second name Want Die was created on the 21st of October in 2018. His first appearance was in a video called Killing Me's for Sport in Wii Sports Resort. This probably explains why he's canonically skilled at archery, plane flying, sword fighting, and a variety of other sports. He's the canonical father of RT Game as established in Tomodachi Life. Let's not think about it too hard, because trust me, it will make your head hurt. Besides his impressive sports career, he's also been shown to know music and also take on multiple roles in the Miitopia series. Now, before we go into Miitopia, I'm gonna have to lay down some knowledge on you just real quick, just so you understand even remotely what's about to go on. So, in RT Game's cinematic universe, Miitopia takes place across 2 different timelines. For simplicity's sake, we'll just call this Timeline 1 and Timeline 2. In Timeline 1, I Want Die is the Pope, and he travels with 3 of his companions, Obama, Mr. Bean, and End Me. End Me is I Want Die's female counterpart, but it's actually implied that Obama is his lover, which means that canonically, I Want Die is a homosexual male. Happy Pride Month. Unless this comes out way after it's supposed to, in which case I'm proclaiming this month as Gay Me Month, specifically to celebrate me's that are not straight. Timeline 2 is a little bit more complex, simply because it got more streams than Timeline 1. For reference, Timeline 1 was the 3DS playthrough, whereas Timeline 2 was the playthrough on the Switch. In Timeline 2, I Want Die takes on the role of a cook, His party extends beyond the original cast, now including Goofy, Cupcake, Dread, Magical John, Gilbert, Jefferson, and Chap. Some of these party members are definitely more important than others though, so those are the ones we're going to be touching on. Throughout the RTCU, chat kind of appears to just be this entity, these voices in people's heads, but in Miitopia they're more condensed into one singular being. They're comprised of thousands of voices and appear to have an unending hunger as they are known to constantly chant feed on random occasions. They seem to see Arty as somewhat of a father figure, which, if true, would make the entity a direct descendant of I Want Die, which is definitely got some implications. Muffin is a scientific anomaly that somehow transformed from a Wooloo into somewhat of a human creature? This may be related to its shiny Pokemon properties, or it may just be the newest gimmick Pokemon shits out instead of actually just bringing back Mega Evolution. Pokemon, please, what are you doing? Magical John originated from the Scribblenauts universe and came into existence via a complete accident in which Arty attempted to summon Michael Jordan using a magical notepad. It's debated whether or not this is the reason he is universally hated by everyone. Despite this, he's canonically been the lover of a volcano goddess. They of course met when someone tried to sacrifice him in an attempt to get rid of him from the world for good. Von Karma originates from the Phoenix Wright series and is a ridiculously evil lawyer turned face-stealing Lord of Darkness. It's implied that Von Karma takes faces by burning them off at a chemical plant, similar to what he did to his own fingerprints. Von Karma is inevitably beaten by the heroes, but his powers were taken away, which then ended up being put in the body of the Great Sage Khadgar, turning him evil. And Von Karma, of course, continued to be evil as he is a natural-born asshole. But more than just that, he's also a natural-born singer.
The case is done, let it end. Yes, it's I, Von Karma, a godsend. I know I'm the best, the charm, the bond. When you're staring at a lawyer god.
Come the end of the journey, the heroes defeat Khadgar and, you know, save the land. And that's about the end of the story for our main characters. But what about the side characters? Ross Bob is a character that originated from Arty's Sim series. His birthday is April 10th, 1942, meaning he's canonically 80 years old, despite the fact he was fundamentally programmed to only live the length of 2 days. In the Christmas special of the canonical live broadcast of Ross Bob's life, he and his family travel to the distant future. While it's not confirmed, this may in fact be the future in which Virginia Virgin resides. Virginia Virgin, of course, being a sword-wielding cyborg from the year 2077. The Zax are a race of identical human beings who live in the magical world of Terraria. They have yet to appear outside of their own universe, but as confirmed by the Everyone Is Here poster, they are actually a part of the RTCU, so I thought I might as well mention them. And that about does it for side characters. That's pretty much all of the recorded lore we have for the RTCU. Which just means, well, I've got to fill in the gaps! On May 3rd, 2022, during a stream of Switch Sports, it was revealed that I Want Die had become a former father. His son's ghost was apparently present and played tennis with him, and the two looked almost identical. Which doesn't exactly line up with what we already know about I Want Die. While it's true that I Want Die has a son, and it actually has been confirmed before, he doesn't look anything like I Want Die. Yes, introduced back in 2019 during Arty's first Tomodachi livestream, was confirmed to be I Want Die's canonical son, and as you can probably see, he does not look a lot like his father. This implies that in the RTCU, when people die, they either dramatically age, or he just looked exactly like his father when he grew up. But that still leaves one pretty important question. How did he die? John Golf is a faceless character who was introduced in a Wii Sports stream on February 16th, 2022. He's a known psychopathic golf player with the catchphrase, "I'll show you," similar to the well-known anthropomorphic video game icon, Mighty the Armadillo. It was implied that in the stream, at some point during his career, he used his golf club, which is actually just a loaded pistol, to murder his caddy. Now, knowing that I Want Die is actually a pro golfer, it would actually make a lot of sense if the two of them knew each other, golfer to golfer. And what's even more likely is that when he wanted to get his son out of the house to get a job and do something with his pathetic life, he offered him a job as a caddy for John Golf. And, well, assuming that he was his caddy, we know it didn't end well for him. This would actually explain why I Want Die hasn't played golf since this stream, probably because it reminds him of his dead son. Now, it was long believed that at some point between March 27th, 2020 and September 1st, 2021, there was a dimensional shift in the RTCU. But our cunning scientists and researchers have actually confirmed that it was September 15th, 2021, in which this dimensional shift took place. The effects of this shift were actually so monumental that they managed to affect the time before the shift happened. On this infamous date, Thaniel Arty Game ordered a Manhattan pizza from Papa John's. Little did Thaniel know he was actually being influenced by the Eldritch entity Chat to order a pizza that would cause the dimensional shift. And this kind of fucked everything up. Cupcake the Wooloo became half sheep and half human and met I Want Die in the new realm of Metopia. Metopia itself was actually shifted into a higher definition, something to do with dimensional graphics budget, and I Want Die's quest in Metopia actually consisted over a longer period of time with even more party members. The Dark Lord Pringles from Timeline 1 was unceremoniously replaced by Dark Lord Von Karma, and the entity known as Chat was converged into a singular being. This was probably why they actually wanted the dimensional shift in the first place. So they could eat. This explains the majority of inconsistencies within the RTCU, and also explains why Thaniel refuses to order a pizza on request of his Chat in case it's the entity again. So where are things headed? Since the Switch Sports stream, I Want Die hasn't appeared in any more streams, and the plot of the RTCU hasn't been furthered at all. But despite this, I'm pretty sure we'll see our favourite embodiment of suffering sometime in the future. We've still been fortunate enough to see some really funny spin-off adventures in his other streams, such as his Wind Waker playthrough, which follows the adventures of Lil Man, the narcissistic asshole of a vlogger, and the adventures of Walter White on Breaking Bad Farm in Stardew Valley. Needless to say, whether it's lore-based or not, I'm pretty sure that whatever Arty puts out, it'll still be quality content. Arty specifically is a pretty big inspiration for me. He's pretty much the reason I started making content in the first place. So this video almost kind of feels like a way for me to give a little bit back. Though I doubt pretty much anyone watching this video hasn't already, I really suggest you all go subscribe to Arty. He's got some really quality content. He uploads highlights of his streams on YouTube and usually streams on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Thank you all for watching, and go play Bugsnax.